I'm honestly starting to think that some NASCAR fans are like Squidward, because given every opportunity to step back and think critically about a situation, they instead decide to just throw away whatever functioning brain they have. Man, it is rough out there on those internet streets, especially for Zane Smith, as he's been catching strays. After 22 NASCAR Cup Series starts, he's Hailie Deegan. He's a fraud. He better start learning to speak Chinese. He is NASCAR's crash dummy, which Ryan Blaney gets a good chuckle out of this, but then completely loses a fuse, goes angry on everyone, because at least Zane Smith has a good healthcare plan and an OSHA-safe workplace because of his sponsorships. Zane Smith should be lucky he has these sponsorships because his chances of crashing are highly likely. Statistically, Zane Smith is the caboose of the NASCAR Cup Series train. He is the worst performing driver in a series with Daniel Hemrick and Harrison Burton. Heck, Kaz Grella, driving a part-time Rick Ware car, has more Cup Series points than Zane Smith. Now look, I'm no credible, prestigious NASCAR journalist like a Bob Pockrass or a Jeff Gluck, but I figure that being last in the NASCAR Cup Series points is a hard knock life. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a similar experience to the high school nerd, where you get taped pinch me on the back by the jocks, get made fun of for your glasses, which Zane Smith might have wearing the Dave Marcus glasses. It is a truly awful experience. So Zane Smith's results are disappointing. I'm not going to sit there and say this is a good season. However, I believe that it's not too surprising when you go beyond the surface level. The NASCAR Cup Series is like a tricycle. In order for the trike to go, it needs 3 wheels to gain traction and move forward. Just like in the NASCAR Cup Series, where a team needs the right driver, the right crew chief, and the right organization to progress towards being contenders, Zane Smith is a qualified driver to race in the Cup Series. Winning a NASCAR championship is one of the hardest things to do in professional sports. Zane Smith's 2022 truck season and even his part-time Xfinity Series schedule with Junior Motorsports back in 2019 proves what happens if he performs up to his potential. It seemed like Zane Smith had the gene to where he could adapt to any situation. However, that has not carried over to the next-gen car. Now, the reason for this is up for debate. Either Zane Smith has lost a bunch of brain cells because Martin Truex Jr. is giving him a noogie behind the pit box after a race, or it's simply that the next-generation car is unforgiving. If a NASCAR champion like Brad Keselowski took over 2 years to win with this race car, imagine what a rookie driver like Zane Smith is going through. And I know what the rebuttal is going to be. What about Carson Hocevar? He is absolutely driving the wheels off that 77 car and is pushing for a top 20 spot in the points. He's also an inexperienced rookie and he's actually getting things done. I hate to say it, blood, but Zane Smith is a NASCAR bust confirmed. Well, let's look at the shopping spree that Spire Motorsports went on this offseason. Steve Cohen, Jeff Dickerson, because I've got to be somewhat politically correct on this channel, brought in 2 new crew chiefs to the fold. Carson Hocevar got Luke Lambert. This was a great hire because the two didn't just have the chemistry at Legacy Motor Club. Luke Lambert is a multi-cultured crew chief. He's worked with veterans as well as Cup Series rookies. Carson Hocevar is the 3rd rookie Luke Lambert has worked with in the Cup Series. Luke Lambert knows how to guide Carson Hocevar under his wing and get the most out of him on Sundays. Meanwhile, Zane Smith got a crew chief that just hatched out of the egg. I am not kidding you with this, as Steven Duran came from the nest of Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers. Like Zane Smith as a driver, he has the potential to be a good crew chief with what he's learned at SHR. However, also like Zane Smith, he's inexperienced. He's only made 15 Cup Series starts as a crew chief. Now, I'm not saying these two birds don't have passion, as I believe that they have the potential to be strong battlehawks. They can bring a lot of passion and energy into races as well as victory lane, like a Battlehawks fan chanting "Caw-caw is the law" in the Battle Dome. Okay, random Battlehawks plug out of the way. In my opinion, this explains the disparity between Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith. Carson Hocevar's crew chief has been there, done that, whereas Zane Smith's crew chief is just starting to learn how to fly. I don't know how anyone can expect this driver-crew chief pairing to soar when they've barely even gotten off the ground. Then you look at the team, as look, Spire Motorsports, they are building towards the future. However, they are not a Tier 1 program. And to make things even worse, Zane Smith is like a blockbuster driver. He is a rental driver, as Jeff Dickerson is going to enjoy his services for 1 year and then move on to Michael McDowell. If Justin Marks has his way and builds his massive super team, when the green flag comes out for the 2025 season, Zane Smith will be in a Trackhouse chartered third entry. So when you think about this from a team perspective, Zane Smith is a NFL driver, not for long. He's going to be out the door, so there really isn't much of an incentive to build around him like there is a Carson Hocevar. The only established part of this team is the spotter, because Josh Williams won a NASCAR Cup Series championship with Ryan Blaney, and honestly, I don't think Zane Smith has many problems listening to his spotters, because before every race, he probably gets a wet willy or two. So, as you can tell, the Spire number 71 isn't a team built for success. Every component of this race team is in development other than the spotter. This team is being fielded in a NASCAR Cup Series garage that's the most competitive it's ever been. There are no more starting parks like Joe Nemechek or Mike Bliss to make up the last guy on the grid. Considering how this roster is constructed, it's not really a surprise that Zane Smith is that 36th place driver every single week. With all the talk about, wow, Front Row Motorsports is a Tier 1 program, and wow, Rick Ware Racing is no longer the caboose in the field. At the end of the day, someone has to finish last. Someone has to have that abysmal, disappointing season. And someone has to be absolutely bullied by the jocks of the NASCAR Cup Series. So it's not really surprising that it's Zane Smith. And you know what? It really wouldn't surprise me at Gateway that a couple NASCAR drivers say, you know what? Let's go to the loo. And no, they're not talking about St. Louis. They're talking about the porta potty where he's going to get a swirly and his glasses are going to be all messed up. I honestly think Zane Smith is a product of this NASCAR internet culture, and I'm not saying that this is something that only the NASCAR fans deal with. It probably happens in the MLB, the NFL, or the NHL, but fans have severely warped expectations of certain players and drivers. On the NASCAR side, I think it's a product of the 2000s rookie renaissance. Look, Tony Stewart 1999, Jimmy Johnson 2002, and Denny Hamlin 2006 are the exceptions. They are not the norm. Only 19 Cup Series drivers have won races in their rookie seasons. You know what seasons are more common? Seasons like William Byron 2018, where he had 9 DNFs and finished 23rd in points. Eric Jones in his first rookie season had a lot of DNFs. Noah Gragson last year, everyone wanted to call him a NASCAR bust. Even though this was a rookie driver driving for an organization going through a lot of change and trying to put the puzzle pieces in place to become contenders. If anything, we need to be defending Zane Smith because he is having a better rookie season than Noah Gragson for 2 reasons. Number one, Noah Gragson had a veteran crew chief, whereas Zane Smith is going through someone that's inexperienced. And hey, Zane Smith hasn't done anything completely insensitive. We haven't gotten to the point yet where he got caught at Build-A-Bear putting a racial slur into a stuffed monkey. Look, I'm not America's crew chief, but we need to pump the brakes on Zane Smith. This is a NASCAR Cup Series rookie that has only made 22 series starts for an organization that's in development. Zane Smith still has a high ceiling for potential if it's realized. He is more than deserving of an opportunity at Trackhouse and does not deserve to be on the hot seat. We as a NASCAR fan base need to set realistic expectations for Zane Smith. We should be looking if Zane Smith improves in the second half of the season instead of throwing hands with a driver that's just getting baptized into the NASCAR Cup Series. For now, Zane Smith should have a long leash because, unlike normal drivers, Zane Smith has to worry about Ryan Preece jumping him after the Coke 600 coming up. Okay, I really tried my best with that one, so if you enjoyed this video, there's other ones like how Jimmy Johnson's struggling to adapt to modern NASCAR. Also, I encourage you to check out my original channel, NRF Productions, for more historical NASCAR content. Other than that, this is Nathan for Digital Gas House. Life's a beach, and then you drive.